The dap greeting Woo Young-woo and her best friend Do in the drama has become a popular meme that even RM and Jimin of BTS imitate. So are there any real lawyers with autism in the real world? Currently, there's no such case in Korea, but there is one I found in the United States, Haley Moss. So what do lawyers in Korea say about this drama? I have collected the reactions of real-life lawyers working at law firms in Korea who actually watch this drama. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Extraordinary Attorney Woo is getting more and more popular as episodes accumulate. The series sailed off with a rating of 0.9% in the first episode, not even 1%. But this unusual heroine with autism spectrum drew so much public attention and interest, hauling the show to the top of the drama chart in Korea in just 2 episodes. Perhaps I wasn't the only K-drama viewer who's just tired of the Cinderella love story cliché. This personally being the drama of the year, I am super glad that I get to make this video to tell you guys the extraordinary stories behind the drama production. Story number 1. Casting. Before finalizing the cast of the lead role, the entire production team, including the writer and the director, chose Park Eun-bin without a second thought. However, unlike their hopes, Park Eun-bin, who was selected to be the lead actress, turned down the role of Woo Young-woo several times. At that time, Park Eun-bin received the scripts for The King's Affection and Extraordinary Attorney Woo concurrently. It is said that Park Eun-bin chose The King's Affection over Extraordinary Attorney Woo. In this regard, Allure Korea introduced an interview conducted with Park Eun-bin in June 2022. When she was asked, "What made you take the lead role in Extraordinary Attorney Woo?" Park Eun-bin answered, "Actually, the proposal from The Extraordinary Attorney Woo came to me almost at the same time as The King's Affection. The script was great without a doubt, but I wasn't sure I could do it well. I kept on thinking, what if I end up hurting someone's feeling? Is there a way of doing it without making anyone uncomfortable? So I refused several times, but the entire production team waited out for me. I was overwhelmed. I could feel they believed in me, and this made me want to make it up to them. So I finally took the courage to take on the role." In fact, Park Eun-bin chose The King's Affection and turned down Extraordinary Attorney Woo, but the production team, including writer Moon Ji-won and director Yoo In-sik, waited a year for The King's Affection to finish filming so they can cast Park Eun-bin afterward. They said they never even thought of considering another actress for the role. It was a huge decision for not only the lead actress but also the production team as well. Story number 2. Developing the persona of Woo Young-woo. It turned out that their decision was just right. Actress Park Eun-bin later on reveals that she studied 4 diagnostic criteria related to the autism spectrum to create the character Woo Young-woo. She said having a specific person as a reference model and imitating that person could end up hurting someone. So instead, she read neuropsychiatry textbooks to learn autistic behavior and characteristics to build up Woo Young-woo's persona in her own creative way. The character Woo Young-woo felt really difficult, but at some point I somehow got a clue, and from then on things just worked out well. And then I realized this is what they saw in me. They knew I would somehow find a way to become Woo Young-woo. I think I've come to face my fears through this work. You can tell how much she is currently immersed in this character by comparing her in the 2 most recent interviews.
전국에 계신 시청자 여러분들도 정말 감사하지만 저희 연모가 이제 KBS에서 동시 방송
글쎄요, 골고루 닮았답니다. 그래서 말빨로는 지지 않으려고 하는 그런 면들이 매력이기도 하고, 그렇지만 또 나쁜 것도 아니고 착한 본능을 가지고 있기 선한 쪽의 사람이었던 것 같아요. 그래서 이렇게 그렇게 엮이고 싶지 않아요. 그래서
In the second interview video taken while the drama was still being filmed, the tone of her voice, random gaze shift, her hand movements are so much like Woo Young-woo. It seems that she is currently living the life of Woo Young-woo inside and outside the filming set. Story number 3. Original work of the TV series. Usually when the potential success of a webtoon is proven through its popularity, it is then made into a drama. But in this case, the popularity of the drama extends to a webtoon creation. On July 27, The first episode of The Extraordinary Attorney Woo was released in English, Chinese, and Japanese through the Naver Webtoon platform. Then where can I find the original version of this drama? The writer of the drama says this drama has no original work. In the ending credit, I found 3 books listed as the sources of the original lawsuit cases. Why Am I Defending Them? By attorney Shin Min-young, One Joy Overcomes 1,000 Sorrows by attorney Jo Woo-sung, and The Master of the Court by attorney Shin Ju-young. The characters in most episodes have few alterations in gender, name, occupation, etc. But the main plots are undoubtedly based on actual lawsuit cases. For example, in episode 10, defending the man who took sexual advantage and monetary exploitation from a woman with a disability was adapted from a real case that attorney Shin Min-young served as a court-appointed lawyer. A non-disabled defendant intentionally joined a community of people with intellectual disabilities and became friendly with multiple disabled female victims. He had sex with them and opened cell phone accounts in their name, he said. As shown in the drama episode, one of the victims actually visited attorney Shin to plead for the man's innocence, and even stood as a witness stating, "I love this man, so I do not want him punished." But the defendant was convicted of sexual assault and financial exploitation. Story number 4. What makes Extraordinary Attorney Woo different from other courtroom dramas? All 3 lawyers who share episodic lawsuit cases are big fans of the drama. They said, "It was fun to see how the original cases are adapted into a drama." They also added, "It is quite worth watching as a court drama. It is evident that the writer studied law a lot." Attorney Shin Min-young said, "Unlike other courtroom dramas that stimulate emotions and sense of justice, Woo Young-woo is more exciting because it presents concrete evidence and judicial precedents like real lawyers would do." Attorney Shin Ju-young said, "When most court dramas focus on catharsis from winning the case and delivering justice to villains in the courtroom, Woo Young-woo sheds light on people, apart from victory or defeat." Can't agree more myself. In episode 10, I was more concerned about the love of the female plaintiff with a disability, rather than focusing on the conviction of the man our heroine was defending. I have never felt awkward that our society takes people with disabilities in a way we look at legal minors. Because they lack judgment, they're considered socially vulnerable. I think I'm not the only one here to raise this question. Is it right for society to deny their love? Can the law define their love as not equal to that of others? Perhaps the series is so popular because it makes us all face the uncomfortable parts of our society, apart from simple good and evil. Story number 5. What inspired the drama writer to create the character Woo Young-woo? According to a recent news media, the production team of Extraordinary Attorney Woo was reported to have used the life of a Professor Temple Grandin at Colorado State University in the United States to create the character Woo Young-woo. She is a globally recognized academic scholar in livestock behavior and the humane slaughter system. In 2010, she was also selected as one of the 100 most influential people in the world by Time magazine. If you're curious about her biography, I recommend you watch the movie Temple Grandin, played by Claire Danes in 2010. Story number 6. A real-life lawyer with autism. So are there any real lawyers with autism in the real world? Currently, there's no such case in Korea, but there is one I found in the United States. Haley Moss, who was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder at the age of 3, obtained a lawyer's license in the United States in 2019. After graduating from the University of Miami Law School in May 2018, she received her doctor's degree in law and joined the Florida Bar, a legal organization in Florida. At that time, USA Today introduced Moss as the first lawyer in Florida with autism. Moss not only became a lawyer, but also expanded her career as a writer, artist, and consultant. I personally hope if this drama were to be reproduced in the US, I would like the story to be developed based on the real case of Haley Moss. Story number 7. Autism in Moon Ji-won's previous work. It is not the first time that autism has appeared in the work of writer Moon Ji-won. Ji-woo, the main character of her previous film Innocent Witness, is also a girl with autism spectrum disorder and 7 syndrome who aspired to be a lawyer. In the movie, the main character Ji-woo said, "I can't become a lawyer because I have autism. But can't I be a witness? And director Yoo In-shik, in connection with this line, said that the drama Extraordinary Attorney Woo will show what it would have been like if Ji-woo of the movie Innocent Witness had actually become a lawyer. Story number 8. The original title of the drama is Weird Attorney Woo Young-woo. The drama is titled Extraordinary Attorney Woo in English, but the title is actually a refined expression to make it less offensive. The Korean title directly translated into English is Weird Attorney Woo Young-woo. We all know the offensiveness and negative nuance of the word weird. So, what message does writer Moon Ji-won want to convey to the world through this drama? In an interview with Segae Daily Media, she said, "I thought the word weird was very appropriate to describe the character Woo Young-woo. I admit that it carries negative nuance derived from unfamiliarity and heterogeneity, but I thought that the weirdness underlies the creativity of thinking outside the box. Just the power we need to make the world a better place for all of us." For the question, why there's no antagonist, the main villain, that goes against Woo Young-woo in the drama, the director replied, "I thought that the biggest hurdle for Woo Young-woo as a lawyer may be her autism itself, and the prejudice that comes from it. All the characters in the drama have their own concerns and prejudices, and together with Woo Young-woo, they will mature in their own way." Story number 9. Korean lawyers' reaction to the drama. So, what do lawyers in Korea say about this drama? I have collected the reactions of real-life lawyers working at law firms in Korea who actually watched this drama. It seems that the drama writer is a lawyer specializing in family law. If not, it seems like they at least properly studied the law or are getting advice from the right experts. It was amusing to watch that all the actors who played judges, prosecutors, and lawyers are using legal terminology properly according to the situation. The legal structure is exceptional. The logic they build up to win the case is as precise and sophisticated as real lawyers' work. Their ability to deal with family law is particularly impressive. I think family law is one of the most difficult and vexing areas. Even the family law scholars and judges with long experience sometimes give different judgments in the same case. I literally cheered when Attorney Woo solved the inheritance problem in episode 4. I have to point out that the setting is too far from reality. First of all, the lawyers in this drama seem to be all handsome, beautiful, and slender. Such beautiful lawyers do not exist in my workplace. I have to say that the part where partner lawyers and head lawyers look after rookies and being kind to them is a fantasy genre. Partner lawyers Chang Myung-seok is like a unicorn. He doesn't exist. In fact, many viewers in Korea are cheering for attorney Chang Myung-seok, who silently supports Woo Young-woo. Perhaps it is because he's a type of boss that is hardly found in the workplace in Korea. He now has as many fans as Woo Young-woo. Story number 10. Woo Young-woo syndrome. At the J-League stadium of a Japanese soccer team, a soccer player, Iwasaki Yuto, celebrated his goal with a Woo Young-woo hand gesture goal ceremony. In fact, the deaf greeting Woo Young-woo and her best friend Do in the drama has become a popular meme that even RM and Jimin of BTS imitate. There are companies that have made a fortune because of the drama. The bag that Woo Young-woo always carries is currently on sale at an online shop for 174,000 Korean won. That's about $150 US. It's a reasonable price for a leather bag. Currently, the demand for the bag is explosive, so you can receive it after waiting for about 2 months after purchase. Woo Young-woo memes are getting more and more popular online. A Woo Young-woo dab challenge has been going on, and the picture of a cute dog with the title Woo Young-woo going to work is also becoming more popular. Many Korean viewers are hoping for a special cameo appearance by prosecutor Hwang Shi-mo from the popular K-drama Stranger, where another autistic prosecutor is the main character. I would love to watch these two geniuses having a legal battle as a prosecutor and an attorney. 안녕하세요. 구독, 좋아요 부탁드립니다. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Plus, click on the bell icon to get more video updates. Thank you. 감사합니다.